Hi, everybody. It's your boy, Coach Vic. Glad to be here with you. Today is a little bit different. I'm going to share something kind of personal with your permission, of course. Now, if you want me to just go back and lecturing and yelling at you guys, you can do that too. But right now, until I hear otherwise, I'm about to share something somewhat personal with you guys. So, as always, make sure you guys can hear me, see me okay. I want to make sure everything is good because I think what I have to say, while not a lecture, so to speak, I think it will benefit you a lot. First thing I want to do, and this is why I use Zoom. I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right, let me get that ready. And when I share my screen, I'm gonna read you an article, not the whole article, just a couple of excerpts. And I'm going to talk about certain things that kind of got me thinking about this, as well as certain things I'm going through personally here at home that may kind of shed some light on why I feel this topic is very important. So without further ado, this is an article from Inc.com. And the headline is this: remote workers are wasting more time than an hour a day on productivity theater, new report finds. So what is productivity theater? Well, it's the same thing as security theater that we go through with the TSA bullshit, where the things that we do, the inconvenience that we actually go through, taking off our shoes and waiting those long security lines and all that, while it may seem like it's helping us to be safer on airplanes, in reality, it's not really doing anything. It's just making us later. We got to get to the airport earlier, making us frustrated, et cetera, et cetera. So productivity theater is similar, where at the office, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I haven't been in an office job for about 3 years now. But I remember pretending to be doing some work when I was goofing off, or when I needed a mental break, or maybe I was waiting for something to happen or for something to do or whatever it was. Like for us, it's compiling. For software, we're always compiling shit. Or maybe waiting on somebody else to get back to you, whatever it is, right? But you're looking like you're busy. So if your manager walks by or a colleague walks by, it doesn't look like you're wasting time. Now, that's very important in some industries because, let's be honest, you guys are under some kind of deadline or some kind of crunch. So you got to make sure that, hey, even if you have some downtime, it can't look like you have downtime. Well, here's the thing. As we all know, we've all gotten a little bit more comfortable with working from home thanks to the pandemic, especially if you had a desk job, right? And one of the benefits that was touted about working from home was that you get to be more productive because you can do things at a time that is more convenient for you. And some people, believe it or not, work longer at home because they didn't know how to put their work away, right? So in this report, drawing on 2,000 knowledgeable workers in the US and the UK, the two companies' new Killing Time at Work report finds that online workers are behaving too much like cubicle warriors of the decades past. What does that mean? Well, the same way we got to look busy in person, people are doing that at home. Now, I don't know about you, but that's some of the worst things I've ever heard. Like, that's how you know we've totally gone off the rails. When you're at home and you got more time and freedom to do what you need to do at a time you need to do it, you're still pretending to do work while you're at home. I mean, like, what's the point of being at home at that point? Again, the whole thing was like, hey, we can't come into the office because of the pandemic. We don't get anybody sick. And then after that, people are more productive because they can do things in their own time. The night owls can work when they're, at their time. The morning people can work at their time. You have childcare needs. Now it's no longer a thing of, no longer an issue. But if you have to pretend to be doing work by pretending to be available online, or how you're going to reply to emails at a certain time, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, because now, even if you're a night owl, you still got to do the 9 to 5 thing. Now, it's different if you have a meeting and you need to meet with people and you need to actually collaborate. Yeah, you got to do it at a time that's, that works for everybody. But when a lot of stuff that we do, especially me as a coder, head down, type, code, think, whiteboard it out. But it's a solo thing, right? I don't know what your job, maybe you're an accountant. Maybe you're a lawyer. You probably need to talk to other lawyers. But as you're doing research, maybe not. Maybe, I don't know what your job is, but in most times you do have a lot of work that you do solo by yourself, heads down, just got to get it done. Why does it have to be done between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., right? So you can read this article yourself. This is not the main thing. It just kind of got me going, but it says more than half workers say their colleagues are stuck in old habits. And almost 2/3 of people believe that management and senior leadership within an organization prefer traditional culture with employees in the office. So when people can't be in the office, they just got to say we're online. Now, I know a lot of companies are trying to say they prefer people to be, hey, work from home, work office, we don't care, just get the stuff done. But I'm seeing more and more articles similar to this one saying that's not the case. I know Elon Musk had a big stink trying to get all of his people back home or back in the office. I know that Apple is trying to get a lot more people back into their fancy campus in the Cupertino. I know that Google's having issues with work from home and things like that. So again, what's the point of working from home if you're just like shackled, but without the perks of the office? Now, depending on your job, you may not have any perks in your office, but we had snacks, we had the banter of your coworkers. You can go out to lunch with your friends. You have little things like that you don't get as when you're back at home. So real quick, anybody experiencing this? You guys, you're supposed to be at home, but then you're supposed to be working at a certain time, and it's not because of a meeting, just because that's when the management likes to see you working, just because they're old school. Interesting. Now, what does that got to do with me? As I said, I haven't worked a job like that in 3 years. Well, if you guys don't know my story, I quit my 9-to-5 job at late 2018. I just got tired of the office politics. I got tired of all the bullshit, and I left. Middle fingers in the air, trench coat, flap, flap, bop, 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 bop. Didn't care, right? However, during that time, I had to get support from my wife. She actually had to hey, you should do this. You're so miserable here at home. I hate to see you this way. We'll figure it out, this and that. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. And I got the courage to leave. It wasn't easy. Why? Well, because I'm making a decent salary, 6 figures, doing what I do. While I had a nebulous plan to quote unquote make money online, I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do. I also didn't have the success in the field I was looking to make money online with, which is basically affiliate marketing, which no one really gets success in that. Yeah, I was a dummy. As I said before, I stopped doing land investing. If you watch my original training video, the escape velocity strategy, I wasn't land investing, not until later. So for a while, I was just trying to make things, trying to figure things out. Now my wife is going through something similar. She's getting tired of her bullshit. She makes, high 6 figures. She's ready to walk away because the toxicity that she was kind of blinded to, or maybe shielded from, is now on full display and is actually causing problems with her mental and physical health. So now, guess what? I'm going to be the sole breadwinner, at least for a small amount of time. She's not the type that wants to be a stay-at-home mom, no matter how much I try to keep her at home. But I'm going to be the sole provider for a while. Now, let me ask you a question. Before I ask you a question, I want you to imagine this. You are doing your thing day to day, just living life. And all of a sudden, a new challenge comes in your life that you were not prepared for. Let's say you lose your job, you get laid off, or you get injured, you have disability, so now you can't work, or the money that you were making, for whatever reason, it dries up. What do? You're not prepared for it. It just happened. How do you survive? Now, let me twist that scenario a little bit. What do you do if you're going along doing your thing and you're preparing? You're that studious chipmunk storing the acorns for the winter. You're the ant, getting stuff in the anthill for the winter as well, while the grasshopper is out there playing. And what I mean by playing is not saving, not putting a nest egg away, not investing their money, anything like that. They're just going paycheck to paycheck. Even though they may only have $100 at the end of the month, they can still invest that $100. But whatever. What do? Obviously, being prepared and being ready to do these things or to handle a situation like this makes you feel a certain way versus when you're kind of caught with your pants down. Now, when I got married, I told her, look, you don't have to work if you don't want to. I'll figure it out. Now, at the time when I said that, even though I fully meant it, I didn't have a plan. I just knew that if she didn't really want to work, I would have to figure out a way to make sure she didn't have to work and we can actually live our lives. Does that mean we're going to live in a shack somewhere in the swamp? Perhaps. I don't know. I prefer not, but I was prepared to do that at least temporarily. Now we're in that situation where I got to make sure I keep my promise, and I have every intent of doing it. That brings us to now. In land investing, things are a little bit different. It's not like you're selling a digital product where you have an infinite amount, and the better you market and the more people hear about it, the more that you're able to sell. In land investing, you need capital to create more capital. Normally people say you need money, it takes money to make money. And I'm like, no, that's not necessarily true. In this situation, at least looking at it from the surface, it kind of is true. Now, let me break this down to you. Not only do you need money to buy property, but you're going to need money to do business. Even if you're doing things 24/7 by yourself, you're going to need cash to, number one, send out offers. Now, if you're sending out offer letters versus postcards versus text, they all have a different price, but you still need something. If you are texting people, you're going to need to get your list skip traced. Oh, by the way, where are you getting your list from? Are you paying from it from DataTree or PropStream or a service like that? Or are you straight up just scraping the names yourself from the county's website? Either way, it's going to take time. It's going to take some money. Now, if you do it yourself, then obviously that's free, just a little bit of your time. But if you're going to try to speed things up, that costs money. Now, once you start sending stuff out there, maybe you don't get an offer right away, right? You need to bring money in monthly to pay your rent or your mortgage, to buy food, insurance, gas, or in my case, electricity. I drive an electric vehicle. All these other things. You're going to need money month to month. What do you do in those situations, especially if you are not actually bringing in money land investing? Well, this is where things get a little bit tricky. Kind of. You have options. You always have options. Now, this is my advice. Let's just say before the situation comes where you need the money, I'm going to tell you what to do right now. Because if you're not already doing this, shame on you. What you should be doing now is building up what I call to my coaching clients the war chest. Now, that's a pot of money that you have that you can invest in. Now, sure, I like to have my expenses from the business come out of that war chest as well. But in general, the amount I'm paying with expenses versus what should be in there ready to invest should be very different. So maybe you only spend $1,000 a month keeping the lights on for your business. Maybe it's 2,000, maybe it's 2,500, something like that. But if you do have that, you should have 7,500, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 ready to go. The beautiful thing is, early on, you don't need a lot of things to get the business started. You can get started with less than $100, getting some offers out there, and making a deal. And then once you have that off, somebody's willing to sell to you, then you got to purchase that. Now, if you don't have the money for the purchase after that, then you have options. I've talked about this in another lesson where you can use a funder, you can, private lending, as in like friends and family, you structure it on the deal, you cut them in on the deal a little bit. There's private lending companies. There's a couple of different, there's other ways as well that I'm probably not thinking of that you can do to buy that property. The point is, even if your first property is super cheap, so we'll use me as an example. When I got restarted in land investing, I had $0. I had to sell some things, sell some stock that I bought way back when. It was hard for me to do, but I did it. And I was able to buy 2 plots in the middle of nowhere for $350 a piece. So total of $700. Sold one of them for $1,700, the other one for about $1,800. Now my war chest is what, $3,500 at that point? Now what I can do with that, I can actually go in a little bit more. Do I go crazy and try to go fancy now that I have $3,500 at my disposal? No, because this is what you got to think about when you're doing this on your own. You got taxes to pay. So what you should do, just my recommendation, take 15% of that $3,500, set it aside for taxes. All right, so what is that? Let's do the math real quick. I'm not quick with the math. So about $525, you set it aside, right? About 15%. That's your self-employment tax that you're going to have to pay to the IRS at some point. Now, this is what I like to do. I'm not sure this is a good idea or not. This actually might be a terrible idea. If you actually take tax advice from me, you're an idiot. Don't do that. I'm not a tax guy. Don't listen to me. But what I like to do, the money that I set aside for taxes, I put it in a investment account, like a robo-investor, like the Betterment or the Wealthfront, things where they invest their money for you. I don't do Robinhood or anything like that, but similar situation. So that money is sitting and it's accumulating interest. And it's just waiting for me to take out from when it's time to pay the IRS. So it's not just sitting there and losing value, it's continuing to compound in value and letting the robo investor do its thing. Now, so we have 3,500 minus 525. Let's just say we have even $3,000. Now I got $3,000 I can play with. What do I do? Well, ideally, I will find more of those $300 to $500 lots and get as many of those as I can. Why? Because my goal is to quickly get to $10,000 as fast as possible. Now, depending on the area, that could happen in a couple of months, or it can happen in like 6-8 months. It just depends on the area. The thing is, you can't give up until you have that war chest built. Now, why do I say $10,000? Well, honestly, that's an arbitrary amount. And as y'all invest, it gets easier and easier. So think of it this way. Let's just say I repeat it. I have 3,000 minus the $700 with a $2,300. I sell, let's just say I find the same type of buyers, I get another 3,500. So I have 2,300 plus 35, that's already 5,800. Since I did the same thing, take out $500 roughly for taxes, and I keep going. If I do a couple of deals like that, it only takes me about four cycles to do that. Now, once I'm at the $10,000 mark, not only can I go after bigger property, but this is the beautiful thing. Now you can employ this formula, which is I like. I give it to my coaching students. Now you can have it too. Don't tell nobody I told you. It is 2x plus 500. You can do 2x plus 500. You're going to be all right. What's 2x plus 500? 2 times your expenses you can do for investing, plus an additional $500 just to make sure you don't just go back to square one. What I mean by going back to square one? Well, let's just say you invest 10,000. You sell for 20, right? Let's just say you have $10,000 worth of expenses, and now you're back at 10,000, and now you're just going to be flip-flopping, going from 10 to 20, 10 to 20, 10 to 20. And the issue is here is that not only do you don't know if you're going to be able to sell every month quickly like that, but you don't get to advance. And when other things come your way, an emergency here, you need money for that thing over there, now you're below your standard. However, when you have 2x plus 500, that means you can double your expenses every month plus a little bit more. So now your war chest is slowly building up. Now, doubling your money in land investing is, depending on the size, that's usually not the ideal way to do it, but being extra conservative because you're doing this as a full-time gig now is kind of like how you're going to have to approach it. So that way, if things don't happen as you expect, certain things take longer, things a little bit more expensive than you expected, you're still okay because you're only looking to double your investment money and not the normal triple or quadruple of the amount. So far, is this making sense? Because the reason why I'm telling you guys is, as I said, I'm going through this now. Now I got to plan for this for the whole family. But money things aside, honestly, I can't express how grateful I am to be able to be at home, to be there for my kids need me, to pick them up from school, take them to their sporting events, listen to their day. If they have to come home because they're sick, I don't got to tell no manager, I got to go, my kid is sick. I don't need vacation days. I don't got to deal with that. I don't got to deal with office politics. I can wake up anytime I want. Granted, I do wake up early because I'm a natural early riser. But the little bit of work I do gives me so much. Now, here's the thing. Even though I'm giving you this little formula, 2x plus 500, what I didn't tell you is how often I have to work every day. In reality, I probably do more telling you guys what I do than actually doing it because it doesn't take a long time to invest in land. I spend maybe an hour a day, sometimes 2, depending on what I need to get done, and that's pretty much it. So I got a couple of deals coming up. I got 4 deals in the pipeline right now, and one of those deals is very large. So I'm gonna work with the funder with that one. And other than that, the sellers, even though I love to self-close, they want to go through the title company. So once I did my due diligence, I thought everything was great. I had them sign a purchase agreement. I sent it to the title company. Now I just sit there and wait. While I'm waiting, guess what I'm doing? I'm finding more property. I'm getting ready to sell the ones that are coming into the pipeline. I'm getting my pictures ready. I'm getting the advertising ready. I'm getting all that ready, right? But you add all that up, it's only about an hour a day. Sometimes a little bit more if I need to self-close and go to the post office and the bank and things like that, but it doesn't take long. So the point is this: how free are you right now? Whether you work from home or you work at an office, how free are you right now? If something were to happen, do you have the freedom to take care of it, as in not just with your time, but the financial resources to take care of it? A lot of you guys watching this, yeah, you probably do, right? You probably work at a nice, cushy desk job, things like that, but do you? If you do that, then what? Do you have the freedom to be there for your kids if you have them, or start having those kids? What about you don't have kids and you just want to be there for yourself? What about there's days where you don't feel like doing anything? You just want to lay in bed all day because you're tired, you had a long day previously, you want to play video games, whatever it is. Can you do that on a whim? What if you get an opportunity to travel? Spur of the moment, you need to travel. Maybe not spur of the moment, but do you have the freedom to do that? What if you need to move? Do you have the freedom to do that? Can you take your job with you? Some of us can, work from home, but then we all started working from home is not all what it's cracked up to be. It's kind of like you're like under house arrest in certain ways. So the point is this, guys: land investing can really give you the freedom you're looking for. You don't need a ton of time. Your income is not limited. You can make as much as you want. Yes, you will need some capital up front, but compared to having a rental property, you need a lot more. You got to take out a mortgage. If you don't get a renter, that mortgage isn't getting paid. They default on your house. You don't have that freedom. Are you working towards it? Guys, we do not have an infinite amount of time in this life. Most of us, unless you are doing something you truly love, most of us do not want to go back looking at our life when we're on our deathbed and say, I'm so glad I worked 40, 50, 60 hours a week for my boss. That's what I want. No one wants to say that. Those aren't going to be the memories you have. So you could keep putting things off and keep saying, I'm going to get to it later, or I need more time, or I need to research this, or I need more of that. Or you can start moving towards your dreams now. I can help you with that, but you don't need me. I've already given you all the tools. I've given you everything that you needed to actually do this and do it successfully. The question is, are you truly trying to be free or not? And if you're not, that's fine. There's no judgment. But a lot of people have talked to me about this, so I figured I'd talk about this back. And maybe right now it doesn't matter if you're free or not. I'll put that in quotes. But what happens when you do need your time, or you do need money, or you do need to generate a large sum of cash ASAP? Have you been working on those skills to help you do that? Have you been working on the things that you need if your job goes away, that you're still going to be okay? Maybe even better than okay? Or are you still trapped with the paradigm that if I don't give my time to this person or these people, I don't eat? It's up to you. You got the formula. I think you can do it. We'll end this one a little early. As I said, it's going to be a little bit different. I do appreciate you guys listening. If you guys want my help investing in land, go ahead and put a comment below. I'll reach out to you. I'll DM you. We can get a conversation started. And I got a couple of things I'm in the works, a couple of trainings and things of that nature that I think you guys might find useful. So more information will be coming out about that as the time comes. But other than that, it's your boy Coach Vic. Glad to be here with you.